it's Claire Saunders from What's New in Electronics. I'm here at Southern Electronics and Manufacturing, and I've been joined by Simon Farnfield, who is the head of the manufacturing portfolio of Easyfairs.
Yeah,
hi, how are you doing?
I'm great. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure. And Easyfairs are the new owners, well, not completely new, but the newish owners of this
Yeah.
event.
So actually, literally 3 years ago, we acquired the show from previous owners, and this is our second iteration of the show that we've run as a team.
Okay, fantastic. Well, we're really pleased to be part of it. We have a history in the electronics sector of many, many years, and we're hoping to develop our relationship further. And I think there's some exciting opportunities for both parties to do that.
Absolutely. I think it's firstly absolutely brilliant that you guys are here doing this as a studio. It's the first time. It's great to work with you. I think there's a great journey for us to start on in terms of partnering. So yeah, I'm very positive and looking forward to it.
Good. And the electronics industry in the UK, as is manufacturing, has always seen its challenges. I think anything in the manufacturing sector has been difficult, and the UK has seen sort of ups and downs. There's definitely a resurgence happening with the sector. There's a lot of sort of new opportunities, a lot of sort of innovators coming in, and I think you guys are noticing that and wanting to develop the electronics community part more.
Absolutely. I think, if you've seen today, the show is really buzzy. There's a lot of good conversations going on with the 200 plus electronics exhibitors that we have, on the show floor. And there's some really interesting, as you say, things on the horizon. So, when you organise a trade show, you want to showcase the latest innovations, the things that are on the horizon, maybe just beyond. I feel like we're seeing some of that developing and come through, and it's certainly the government with the minister's address this morning was talking about certain investments and so on. I think that really recognising that what we do as a country, there's some really positive things out there. So as show organisers, we want to kind of represent that, amplify that, and in terms of we've got behind us here, we've got our electronics and semiconductor conference. Mm-hmm. So we've really kind of upped that in terms of some of the quality content coming through, and there's associations or organisations like ASIN, TechWorks, who are working with us to deliver some content. APC, We've had Rolls-Royce here, and so there's some really interesting things going on there. So yeah, very positive.
Yeah, it's getting the conversation going because I think there is going to be a sort of a resurgence of the UK manufacturing sector. You're seeing it across the world. Obviously, the US have done some interesting things with their tariffs and bringing stuff back home again. So there's going to be sort of reinvestment back in the UK. The electronics industry it's a very mature industry. There's not necessarily a lot of new blood coming around, but what has encouraged me massively today is seeing how many students and there are here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's hope that there's apprenticeships happening. Let's hope that we can encourage these youngsters to get involved in this. They're listening to the seminars. They're not just going around printing all the pens and stuff. They're actually getting really involved, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's a passion of mine, is around skills. So, I mean, there's three things in an industry, which is you need the money to scale, you need the bits to make. So the show is all about the bits, and then you need the people.
Yeah.
And there's a skills issue, clearly in all sectors, especially manufacturing and electronics. And as organisers, we recognise that. So I do welcome, controlled groups of students come through. We've had Langley College here today, Reed School, bring through some really, just to entice them and excite them about what's going on and see these machines and see the different things that we do. So it's really important that you've highlighted that. We don't want to inundate the show with students and stuff, but at the same time, I think we, as an industry, have a responsibility to really push that.
Yeah, and I think you'll also see a change in a lot of people's thought processes about this, because many years ago, students come, it's a nightmare, we're not interested in shoes, they're not going to buy. However, now we look at our industry, and as I say, it is a mature industry, so it's not so much, they're not going to buy quite yet, it's who's going to take over from us, because we can't do it for much longer.
Very true, yeah, so true.
So the next level of the audience needs to be educated, they need to be brought in, and they need to be encouraged, because there hasn't been that encouragement, there hasn't been the support from government or even from schools, to push people in that direction. So it is really encouraging.
Absolutely, and one of the things actually we do, is we support the Make UK Apprenticeships Awards. So we are the main sponsor for that. So I do the judging of that, and honestly, so inspired listening to some of the stories of these apprentices coming through and working across the country. And only last week we handed out the big national awards at Madame Tussauds. So that was, it's really, a big passion of mine to support that. So I think, gone are the days where people need to sort of, oh my God, I don't want a student collecting rubber, pencils and stuff from the stands. But we talk about them in our internal meetings as we call them future engineers.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the way you need to look at it. And in fact, we've changed badges. We've done it for this show, but for advanced engineering, we changed the badges to say future engineer on it instead. So it gives them an identity.
It gives them a sense of purpose. That's right. It gives them something to aspire to and feel that they're part of what is happening. And it is very encouraging because everything, electronics is in everything. So it will really, really help encourage them, I hope, and bring things. Yeah. But we are, as I say, really excited to be part of this. Yeah. Looking forward to other things that we can do to help strengthen the event for you in the future.
Amazing.
Let's see what other things are coming. I'm sure we'll have a few more interviews with you and I.
Yeah, great.
And see what trouble we can cause.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's be controversial next time. But look, absolutely. Thank you, and obviously hugely thank you massive for your support. So look forward to working with you more.
Great stuff. Thanks, Simon.
Great. Cheers. Thanks, Claire.